Yes. Okay. Bitcoin is correcting. Everything is correcting, but I don't think it's a good idea to panic. It's never a good idea to panic, and I think if people are panicking, then they've got too much value in crypto. I think fundamentally that's what it boils to. So if you're feeling annoyed, angry, nervous, stressed, anything like that, then you have way too much value in crypto. I think that's fundamentally the problem here, because that's what's going to stress you out. If people didn't have all their value in crypto, then they wouldn't panic. And when corrections like this happen, then they would have, hopefully they would have an idea of what to do next. Okay, it's the problem is that sometimes people are like all in and they have nothing left, and so they have no ability to do something about corrections. And so it's really important to learn this now, because the bull run hasn't really even potentially hasn't even begun if you consider the Bitcoin halving as the beginning of the bull market or the bull run. So it's a good lesson. I think it's a good lesson. This is like the first major correction that we're experiencing, except this. But I guess over here, no one really, I don't know, when was that? That was in January. Well, that was quite a big correction. Were people panicking? I don't know. Maybe because of the ETF, people were still anticipating higher prices, but now, because we've had a rejection from the all-time high, now people are thinking, okay, there's a lot of space, there's a lot of black space below us, and how far could it go? And therefore people might be a little bit panicked. I think the most important thing is that everyone executes their trade plan. You have to have a trade plan, and there are different types of trade plans to have. Some people will just take profit as quickly as possible. Some people will take profit at key levels and look to reaccumulate, or put that profit back in at support levels. Some people are just holding for higher, hodling for higher, and waiting for higher. I think there's no right or wrong trade plan as long as there is a plan. And I think that's really important. I think it's important that people have a plan of action. What happens if the price goes up? What happens if the price goes down? How much profit do I take at certain levels? How much do I put back in at certain levels? I think people have to get that clear in their heads now. And this is a good opportunity to think about these things. I'm not here telling you what to do. I'm just telling you areas of interest, support and resistance, and potential moves to the upside and potential moves to the downside, what things could happen. And what people need to think about is how they're going to action that based on their own risk appetite and based on their own portfolios and value and etc. etc. So I think it's really important that we don't get distracted by what other people are doing and just focus on ourselves. Don't look at me and go, well, he's doing that, I'm going to copy him. I might not have the best answer, but for me it works because I'm still chilled. As long as I'm chilled, I'm okay. I think everyone just needs to do something which keeps them calm even when there is dips. And so I think if anyone is a little bit stressed, I hope not, I hope no one's stressed, but I think if anyone is stressed, and mainly because of TRVL actually, I think people might be a little bit stressed because of TRVL. Then because it's quite a big pullback, you know, from these highs roughly, we're already 36% lower down. People might be stressed. there's no reason to be stressed, and I'll explain why. But let's just first focus on Bitcoin, and then we'll talk about all the other coins. Okay. Zach says, are we ready? Yep, we're ready. We're going. David, good morning. Sebastian, good morning. Zach, let's get it done. LOL. David says, buy the blood. Sebastian, perfect buying opportunities. I agree. Maybe not yet, but I agree. Sushant says, time to be a vampire and suck the blood. Amir the therapist, haha. Thank you for your speech. It was much needed, bro. So let me just tell you about myself. Most of my value is not in crypto. Most of my value is in properties. I am selling a couple of properties which haven't been sold yet. They're in the process of selling, converting that to fiat. My crypto portfolio, in comparison to my overall portfolio, is relatively small. That's why I'm not stressed. And my idea for the bull market is to buy the dips all the way to my higher targets. I'm not looking to trade on small price adjustments. Every time I see a dip, I'm looking to buy the dip all the way up to my higher time frame targets. And also that has to coincide with the market timing too. There has to be a little bit of confluence between time and price. That's my trading strategy for altcoins. Okay, very different to what I'm doing with Bitcoin, which I do plan trades on Bitcoin. On Bitcoin, I have a Bitcoin account, and all I'm doing on that is trying to increase the value of my Bitcoin account by 1% in every trade. I have a invalidation, I have a take profit, and I take my profit as quickly as possible as soon as I get my 1%. But for all intents and purposes, I don't care if the value of fiat goes down or up, because my bias is up. My Bitcoin cycle bias, bull market cycle bias is up. Because I have an overall up bias, I have two different trading styles. For altcoins, I'm just looking to buy the dips, and my higher time frame targets will be in alt season at the end. Okay, once we get to that level, it'll be very easy to scale out, and it'll be timed right as well, because all the alts will be pumping, going parabolic. I'm waiting for that. So up until that point, I'm not all in. I'm just accumulating. Now, I didn't accumulate this rise. Whenever I buy, I tell people. And I haven't told anyone, like in this whole, like on TRVL, that's my main one. I didn't buy any of this rise. Okay. I was buying all the way down here. I was telling people every pullback here I was buying. So actually my TRVL position is in profit. And because it's in profit, I'm not in a rush to sell. Like I said, a lot of people are in profits, so there's no real need to or rush to sell. If people are looking to trade, they should. And the best way to do it is, I've said in the past, put your orders above wicks. And if you look at TRVL, for example, I'll use that as, I'll come back to it. I'm not going into TRVL right now. Use another chart. You'll see there's a wick there. Yeah, there's a wick. So I've always said at the above and below wicks are good places for people to do that. I'll still say that it was a good place if people wanted to do that. I didn't do it. Okay, I could have done it. I didn't do it. And what's interesting is that when Bitcoin was at 72, 73,000, I think if people were paying attention to my streams, they're quite long, so I do apologize if no one really took time to pay attention to my streams. But I had this little box, and I called it the sell zone, and it was there roughly at the top. And also when Bitcoin was about to correct, in one of my live streams, I said I was in a short, and basically I entered my Bitcoin short here, basically here, and I did that with David. I told everyone in the live stream, and I gave my reasons why I was in a short. I said it looked like the price was exhausting. Okay. Did I take profit or sell TRVL? I didn't. I'm not selling TRVL under 9 cents. I'm not doing that. I'm looking to accumulate more TRVL under 9 cents. Okay. And I'll go into that in a second. So I think the biggest lesson for most people is if you're panicked, it means you just don't have enough fiat to buy the dip. And so therefore you always have to be thinking, especially when we're at the highs of a potential reversal, whether it's Bitcoin or anything else, whether it's Bitcoin or whether it's TRVL, whether it's TRVL or anything else, just make sure you have fiat to buy the dip. Okay, that's really important. Otherwise, when the price corrects, if the price corrects, you're going to feel a bit annoyed. So these are good lessons, and we're early, so it's okay to make these mistakes once or twice early, as long as they don't continue down the line. Omar wants to vote. I have a look at all of the coins.